Busy week last week. We had our themes presentation. I know Billy previewed some of it, but we went through, at least in the digital advertising space, how we were seeing, continued slowing growth across the digital ad landscape through June. Meta specifically continued to underperform. Shouldn't be, news to anybody who's been listening to the call, right? Because, despite the stock doing what it was doing, through May through June, since the Q1 earnings disappointment, the data continued to just track weak, which is why we stuck with the short and actually continued to move it up higher on the active short list, just given that the price was deviating from what we thought was the fundamental reality. So, where are we kind of to start Q3? Well, the long tail of advertisers that are, usually the most sensitive to any changes in performance continue to post weakness. Ad spends down year over year. That has looks like it's metastasized to Google starting late June, early July, which would be a change of trend, which is also why we took Google down from our number one active long, where we had been for a long time, down to the middle of the list. It's our number 6 active long, just a conviction change on risk reward, on catalysts playing out, on the data getting marginally worse with more difficult comparisons coming up in the back half, just kind of prudent to take it down.
Let's recap a big week for us. We went bearish on the AI related names, which is mostly semis, hardware, and some industrial names on Monday. Goldman Sachs followed us by downgrading semis on Wednesday, and then Morgan Stanley downgraded Asia chips last night. Tech fell almost 5% last week. Semis tumbled 10% last week. Thus, sentiment has shifted in a big way, which is why we got so much attention last week. I think it's mostly earnings disappointments coupled with some excessive positioning on the AI names and exacerbated by all that's going on in geopolitics, such as Trump's comments on Taiwan. We have round 2 of earnings this week. There's a lot of names there. I won't go through them. Meanwhile, I'm excited about our catalyst call on Tuesday. Some tickers we'll discuss include JD, Meituan, and Astera Labs. Let's start with JD. We are the only firm to pitch short in JD only 2 months ago, right at the near-term peak of $35, basically on raised expectations on China and then also e-commerce. We were skeptical of the new lifeline from the PBOC on housing, and we stressed and warned multiple times that Q2 setup is much more difficult than Q1. Look what happened. 618 shopping festival for JD was one of the weakest ever. JD stock has plunged 25% since we shorted it. It's underperformed NASDAQ Golden Dragon Index by 7%. So on this call, we're going to discuss, it looks ugly, but why are we taking it off? And discussing the June and Q2 GMV and merchant trends, as well as some new e-commerce regulations down the road. So that's JD. Then we're also going to discuss our number 1 short idea, which is Astera Labs. This is a connectivity player in the semi world. We are also the only firm to short it. Astera Labs has dropped 26% since our short pitch in early May. The stock has underperformed the semi index by 40% since then. We're going to share some color on ASPs and units sold, as well as a perspective on NVIDIA's GB200 that more and more investors are talking about.
So did all that really happen? Yeah, Felix bringing his A game today. Again, on the call, we can only do so much, but if you're subscribed to our global tech product, we have these things called position monitors. So every one of those positions is time stamped and ranked in order, long and short. So again, if you're like, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. And sometimes you have to pay a little bit more or a lot to get a lot. And that's a great run for you guys. The phones are hopping on our sales desk as a result of that VTR call too. Did you just listen to what our two of our best analysts just had to say about the rate of change for comms and semis? I mean, that's not good.
It's not about picking stocks. It's about picking the right portfolio.